Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, back to ZOP Gaming, and here today on Total Extreme Wrestling Fantasy Booking AEW. Maybe I should change the name. All that matters is we are back. Fyter Fest is in the bag. We had a great show there. Now it's the post show of Fyter Fest. So let's dive into our show. Today we have our AEW World Women's Champion Hikaru Shida in action. We have Cody Rhodes defending the TNT Championship against the most dangerous man in the world, Orange Cassidy. We have our AEW World Champion Jon Moxley taking on Lance Archer in the main event. And we also have former AEW World Tag Team Champion Kenny Omega taking on Pac. And we also have an important announcement dealing with the AEW Women's Division. All that today on Fantasy Booking. Let's dive into the show, folks. Are you ready? Before we dive right into the card, I just want to make some announcements. Going forward, I will put down in the description all the matches that take place on AEW Dark and who won those. With that being said, let's dive right in to the first matchup. It is Kenny Omega taking on Pac in a match that had great heat, superb wrestling. Pac defeats Kenny Omega in 15 minutes and 9 seconds by pinfall after a 450 splash after distraction by Hangman Page. Kenny Omega had an in-ring performance of 84 and Pac had an in-ring performance of 82. This continued the Elite Fracture storyline and gained heat, which is awesome. And the overall, this had an 81. What a great way to start off the post-show of Fyter Fest. So continuing those storylines between Kenny and Page, turning on Kenny at Fyter Fest, we are going to be building towards a Kenny Omega and Hangman Page matchup. Not at All Out. No. Not at All Out. We'll be doing that a lot sooner because I have other plans for Page and Kenny Omega for All Out. So we'll be building to that very quickly. Following that up, we cut to the back. Kathy and Dasha are in the back. Kathy, since Double or Nothing, the AEW women have stepped up. Dasha, now they're about to step up even more. We come back, Mercedes and Ivana walk on before Kathy can talk. They shoo them away. Ivana, if anyone's going to make an announcement, it's going to be them, since they are the future AEW World Women's Tag Team Champions. Kathy and Dasha leave. Mercedes, now where were we? Yes, the top 4 teams, Ivana and Mercedes smile, with more than one match. Ivana, what? That's not fair. Mercedes, we're undefeated. Ivana, what is this bull? All the other teams and new teams will compete for the rest of July, with the final teams being selected at the end. Any of the 4 teams that are already qualified can lose their spot if their record falls below the other teams. Mercedes, the tournament will take place in August and the finals at All Out. Mercedes, well, the tournament then takes place in August with the finals at All Out. Ivana, you know, Mercedes, this doesn't matter. We're going to make this tournament and walk out of All Out, the first ever AEW World Women's Tag Team Champions. Mercedes, and you can take that to the bank. So yes, we are finally bringing in the AEW World Women's Tag Team Championships, and we will be deciding who will be going forward. You can see on screen right now the 4 teams that have achieved and will be in the tournament already, unless their win streak falls below other teams in the process. And then after the 4th week of July, we will find out who the final 4 teams will be. And then starting in August, we will have the tournament go with the finals at All Out. So there you have it. We are bringing in the AEW World Women's Tag Team Championships, and they will be crowned at All Out. Let me know down in the comment section who you think will be walking out of All Out as the first ever AEW World Women's Tag Team Champions. The Women's Tag Team Championship announcement, this segment got a 65. So that was pretty good for that one as well. It should have been a little bit better with Bayley, Mercedes, and Vanna in there, but it is what it is. In our next matchup, we have the debut of Eddie Edwards taking on the debut of Brian Myers. In a decent match, Eddie Edwards defeats Brian Myers in 9 minutes and 46 seconds by pinfall after the cross-legged Fisherman Buster. Eddie Edwards had an in-ring performance of 67, while Brian Myers had an in-ring performance of 53. And this led to a 63 overall matchup, which is actually pretty good for these two debuting. Actually, I was expecting it could have been a little bit worse because of Brian Myers and his, being treated like a nothing on WWE TV. So bringing him in. He's more of an up-and-comer where Eddie Edwards will... But I do have plans for Eddie Edwards going forward, so you can see that and building him up. Back to the ring. Chris Jericho comes out to the ring and takes Justin Roberts' mic and enters the ring. Chris, now that Fyter Fest is behind everyone and the Inner Circle have returned from their celebration vacation after defeating the Elite, first ever Stadium Stampede matchup, he wants what's his. He wants what belongs to him back. The AEW World Championship. Fans boo. Chris, shut the hell up. Everyone knows the championship is mine. I was the first ever AEW World Champion, and I'll be the first ever 2-time AEW World Champion. The fans boo louder. Chris, Moxley beat me. Not because he's better than me. He outsmarted me. I can give him that. I had everything thought out, just not that Moxley could see from the eye that I thought I poked out. Fans cheer for Moxley. Chris, if I'm going to get back what's mine, I need to prepare. I need competition. I need the roughest, toughest, baddest man on the planet to prepare me, who will force me to think outside of the box, which I will. And that man I will face is... Music hits and out walks Orange Cassidy. Fans cheer. Cassidy walks the ring and rolls under the ropes to get in. Jericho and Cassidy come face to face. Jericho is already turning red. He yells at him. He is not the one he was talking about. Cassidy puts his hands in his pockets, and Chris Jericho swings. Cassidy ducks and exits the ring. So yes, we are finally going to be going where they actually went for Fyter Fest. Chris Jericho versus Orange Cassidy. And we're going to be building towards that feud for the long term. And I kind of just kept the segment what they did for real because it was actually done really well and I liked it very much. I think the use of Mike Tyson was a little bit better because he had someone to reference, but the idea of relating to the baddest man on the planet was a nod to that, but also just the roughest, toughest, someone that would push Jericho to a Moxie craziness level to think outside of the box, was that kind of building up, the dangerous of Orange Cassidy. So I think it was done really well. I really like this, and I'm excited to build this matchup. And I don't think you know where we're actually going to be going with this, but I could be wrong. The freshly squeezed Inner Circle storyline advanced and gained heat, and this segment got an 83. So that was really good. In our next matchup, we have Meiyu Watanabe and Tennille Dashwood taking on Levy Bates and Serena Deebs. In a bout that had decent wrestling, but not much heat, Meiyu and Tennille, Leva Bates, and Serena Deebs in 8 minutes and 42 seconds, when after Meiyu Watanabe defeated Serena Deebs by pinfall after a diving double foot stomp. Meiyu carried the match in in-ring performance here. Tennille had a 51 in-ring performance. Meiyu had a 74 in-ring performance. Serena Deebs had a 43, and Leva Bates had a 55 in-ring performance, leading to a 59 matchup rating, which is actually pretty good, especially since Leva has been pretty much used as a jobber for her full-time in AEW, and I've been using her that way. I do have plans to kind of slowly build up to use her. Trust me, I have some big plans for her. Long-term plans, not anything in the future right now. But that could always change because my plans for All Out and Full Gear have changed recently. So, our next segment, we have Mr. Brody Lee cutting a promo here. This is just a hype promo to remind him. This is a basic standard Join the Dark Order promo. Because while I had plans to start using the Dark Order at this time to build to All Out, yeah, I didn't fit in. But also because when I was planning this, I didn't know where I want to go with them. What I was going to do with them has changed. So I now know what I'm going to do with them, and I'm going to slowly start building towards that after All Out. I believe we actually use Brody Lee here and there, maybe more on Dark. But after All Out, I'll start to slowly build towards what I'm going to be starting to do with the Dark Order. Which just sucks to hold off on such a big talent. But if I'm going to do this, I want to make sure I'm actually using them to the fullest and not just But we'll start building towards that after All Out. With the announcement of the AEW World Women's Tag Team Championships, we have the women's tag division in action. We have Big Steel taking on Bad Reputation in a bout that had decent wrestling but little heat. Bad Reputation defeated Big Steel in 14 minutes and 41 seconds when Devana Perezzo defeated Big Swole by pinfall after the Rumor Breaker. Big Swole was the weakest link and struggled to keep up with everyone else in in-ring performance. In-ring performance of Tasha Steele was a 54. Big Swole was a 44. Penelope Ford was a 58. Wow. And Dina Perezzo was a 53. So that's good performances there. This got a 56 overall, which I'm happy with for the people involved. Really helping to build up that and hopefully really use these teams in the future. Or maybe it'll be one of these teams that actually walk out as the AEW Women's Tag Champions. I really haven't decided overall who is going to be walking out. I constantly go back and forth at this point. But I'm happy with this rating. Next matchup, we have Cody defending the TNT Championship against the roughest, toughest, baddest man on the planet, Orange Cassidy. In a bout that had great wrestling, good heat, Cody defeats Orange Cassidy in 19 minutes and 52 seconds by pinfall after Crossroads following an interference from Chris Jericho. Cody makes his 7th defense of the AEW TNT Championship. Cody had an in-ring performance of 76. Orange Cassidy had an in-ring performance of 68. The freshly squeezed Inner Circle storyline had advanced and gained heat with Jericho's interference. And the overall got a 61, which is a little lower than I thought I think it should be, but I'm probably booking with Jericho interfering people didn't necessarily like, but it gained heat, so I have no clue why it's so low. But I'm happy with this. Yep. Well, I was tempted to put the belt on Orange Cassidy. I haven't really used Orange Cassidy in the game so much, so I have to kind of build him up before I can put a championship on him. But this helps build that feud with Jericho going forward because he just interrupted him. So why not piss it off the man who just ruined your plans by costing him a championship? Our next matchup, we have AEW World Women's Champion Hikaru Shida taking on Sadie Gibbs. In a decent matchup, Hikaru Shida defeated Sadie Gibbs in 11 minutes and 22 seconds by pinfall after the Tamashi. No, 3 count. I think I pronounced that correctly. I doubt it. Hikaru Shida had an in-ring performance of 66. Sadie Gibbs had an in-ring performance of 52, leading to a 51 overall matchup. Ugh. Not as high as I wanted that to be, but with Sadie Gibbs, who is still kind of a jobber, not a jobber, but enhancement talent, dash up-and-comer. With her ratings being low, her skills, I'm pretty sure that's probably why this is so low. Especially with Hikaru Shida's in-ring performance being at 66, that's probably why it's down that low. But most of the talent for the women are unknown, so we gotta build them up. So you gotta get what you get. Let's move on. Hikaru Shida celebrates her win when Mercedes and Ivana hop the ring barricade and slide in behind her and attack. They beat Shida up and then pose over her. So what is going on here? Why are these two women who are going after the AEW Women's Tag Championships going after the AEW World Women's Champion? Only time will tell, but there's got to be something going on here. So we'll see where this goes. This feud, let's see. The Rise of Supremacy storyline advanced and lost heat here, unfortunately. That's kind of sad. But the overall got 68. I don't know why that was so low. What it is, but I'll still take the 68. It's still pretty high up there, but I would have liked it to be higher. It's good, and we'll see where this goes going forward. And in our main event, we have Jon Moxley. My bad. The AEW World Champion, Jon Moxley, taking on Lance Archer. In a matchup that had great wrestling, good heat, Jon Moxley drew with Lance Archer in 15 minutes when the time limit expired. Jon Moxley had an in-ring performance of 84. Lance Archer had an in-ring performance of 58, leading to a 70 for this matchup, which is actually not too bad, especially with Lance Archer's in-ring performance being lower, but I'm still happy with this. I'll take it. I know in-game Jon Moxley was not happy with his booking, and after I simulated so far, he holds a grudge, apparently. Apparently he's better than this, but it is. Moxley did not get a victory here, nor did Lance Archer, which I think is good. I'm doing this to help build up towards another matchup against these two, but this time for the AEW World Championship, but not at all out. With that is the end of the show, so let's take a look at our overall for this show. This show got a 72 overall, which is really good. And like always, we look for how much our popularity increased. And our popularity did increase in 21 regions, which is great. I do wish this would tell you a little bit more like what regions, but I think 2020 does. So that will be good. But I need to get that game. Hopefully I'll be getting that sooner rather than later, but I don't know, unfortunately. And that is all for this week's fantasy booking. Please let me know down in the comment section what you thought of this show. Answer the question of the video. What is your predictions for my all-out card? Who will be challenging for the AEW World Championship, the AEW World Tag Team Championships, the AEW World Women's Tag Team Championship Finals, and the TNT Championship, as well as other matchups that you want to throw out there. Let's see if you guys can match up where I'm going with this. I don't give you that much because it's the first show after Fyter Fest, so make your predictions. I hope you enjoyed this show. Please give this video a thumbs up if you made it to the end. You're clearly liking what you're watching. Also, if you really enjoyed this show, please consider sharing this video on your social media. It's a great way to help support this show as well as ZOP Gaming channel. And since it's right there, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, and turn on all notifications so you know when all fantasy booking and other ZOP Gaming content go live. Thanks again for watching Fantasy Booking, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.